Welcome, everybody, to another great CEO podcast. I'm here with Karan Yaramada from Jade Global. Welcome, Karan. How are you?
Very good, Jim. Thanks for inviting me. Glad to be here.
Appreciate you coming. Thank you. Why don't we just dig right in? So in a couple of sentences, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your firm and what you do?
Karan Yaramada. I'm the founder, CEO of Jade Global. Prior to starting bootstrapping Jade in 2003, I used to work for KPMG Consulting. By profession, I was already a consultant. I was a techie consultant. So starting Jade in 2003 was continuing my profession, and that so how it could be a bootstrap, because I rolled my sleeves and started. And I live in San Jose, California. I've been in this Bay Area for almost like 25 plus years. That's me, Jim.
Very nice. And what does Jade Global do?
Jade Global is a systems integration, IT consulting services, software solutions. We do help enterprises of mostly mid to large is our focus. So mid to large enterprises, we implement, integrate, manage their business applications and technology.
Got it. I saw some great partners, Salesforce, SAP, some other big complicated systems.
Yeah, the ERP, there are only a few major ERP systems in the world now. SAP and Oracle are those two. Then we also NetSuite and the pure cloud versions, like the platforms like ServiceNow, Boomi, iPaaS. We work with Snowflakes, and also Microsoft Azure and AWS, GCP clouds and all that. Yeah.
Right. Cool. So there are a lot of firms that do this, Karan. I mean, I probably could come up with 100 if I went searching for it. Why do people pick your firm?
Great question, Jim. So first of all, the business that we are in, IT services business, is about $1 trillion plus market. It's massive. It's in fact, I would say it's growing at 10, 11% in the last couple of years. And one thing that I tell when I meet other CEOs, that every company is a tech company. You know, every company has becoming more and more tech, because the technology runs businesses.
Yeah.
So having said that, but then what differentiates? Why do customers pick Jade versus there are many others, right? Mm-hmm. I would say we are slightly different than many other companies in a way that we have our customers. Over the last 19 years, we've acquired customers, and we keep those customers for a long time. And we build solid relationships with these customers. And our first customer, when I started, is still a customer today.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
So we do focus on the long-term relationships with our customers. We bring also the value for the money. One thing I would say is when we work with the customers, our goal is to make sure that it works for them. It's just the other way. We are not looking at, whether we are making money on this project or whether it's working for us or not. But number one thing is whether it's working for the customer, whether they see the value in what we are doing. When we can actually demonstrate that value, we can really create the value for them. It's a lifelong customer. So that's usually what we do. And it's 19 years. It's a slow process. We acquire the customers. In this journey, we do lose some customers because not every customer is a fit for us.
Right? Yeah, right.
But those that we retain, they are the ones that really we thrive with. So
that's phenomenal. I have a friend who is in sales training, and he goes, when is the sale done? People go, oh, when you get the check, or when you get the purchase order, or when you get the whatever. No, the sale is done when the value is delivered to the customer. that's when the sale is done. And that's just, I love the fact that you've already got that mentality. So in this model, are these long-term contracts or are they project oriented? In other words, what percentage of the revenue recurs every year? I know you keep them long time, but can I count on do the same number, or is it depends on what's going on? How does that look for you?
Great question, and that's the billion-dollar question for every IT service, for that matter, every service.
Every company.
Right. So we have about 50 to 60% of our revenue coming from it's a recurring. Not only that, existing customers give us like 70 to 80% of our business, but the recurring, which is more like managed services,
right,
where we have a long-term relationship with our customer, and that's around 50% this year, and our goal is to reach to 70%.
Nice.
That's the healthy level, because we want that 20-30% on the tops to be more coming from the transformational work, where we keep our skills sharp, and also we learn from that, and then at the same time we can create a lot of value through the transformational projects, and then bringing the latest technologies and the best practices and all of that. So recurring as well. So those recurring customers where we have a managed services long term, we do bring innovation on those as well, and that's more by automating, more by improving their business processes and efficiencies. So we do bring value through those processes as well. So
got it. It's an interesting way to think about it. You got a base load that's maybe slightly less exciting, but pays a lot of bills, and then maybe the more bleeding, interest. That's a very interesting way of thinking about it. But every business has a point of constraint. You probably heard me talk about the kink in the hose that limits the flow rate. And, as a CEO, we go, what is the one thing I would change to make my business better? It's usually at this point of constraint. So what is the point of constraint in your business? What is the thing you would change to make it a better business than it is today? Not that it's a bad business, just it would make it better.
Right. Jim, that's a readiness, because there is demand. There is a lot of business we can get.
Yeah.
But do we have the right people? Do we have the right team with the right skills that can make that our customers successful? I think that's the constraint. Supply constraints. I wouldn't say not just a supply doesn't mean that I can go hire people, but it's not about that. Just hiring the right people, giving them the right training, providing them the right induction, cultural orientation, and also making them understand the beliefs and the values of Jade Global. So that, because when we go to a customer, we want to represent Jade. And so we are investing in a lot in our culture building. We become a great place to work. Last year, we've been on the Inc. 5000 list for the last 12 years, by the way.
Nice.
And I'm sure we'll be there 13th time as well.
Yep.
And so that's one thing that, the growth, planned growth rather than unplanned. I would say, because we want to make sure that we continue to build our brand as we grow. And when we grow 50, 60%, or sometimes 100%, then you lose track of who you are, and then it takes time to come back to the true north. So I would say controlled growth than anything else.
Yeah. Well, and the problem is that the way to manage culture as you grow is about bringing in, orienting, and activating talented people, but that takes time, right? Yeah. It's not, you can't snap your finger.
Yeah.
So I could see that being, if I could do that better and faster, then you could grow better and faster at the same time,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I think that's the big difference between if you have a product, especially a software product, you can grow much more rapidly. Your time. Services, every person matters, and we want to make sure that every person is oriented, understands the culture. How we bring value to our customer is very important. Not just charging time and material. It's what value can we bring.
Interesting. So how many hours a week do you work nowadays, Karan?
It depends. I don't count my time, but it's been an exciting journey. And 50 sometimes, I do work, make it a little bit fun, and I play golf with my customers, and I go out for dinners with them, and it's so one thing that I believe in. When your passion and purpose is one, then there's no work. It's all fun.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying it.
I usually threaten to call somebody's partner when I ask that question, and they go, no, don't do that. So as you continue to grow, one of the things that we have to do as leaders is to shed responsibilities so that we can continue to do higher and higher value work. So can you name one responsibility that you've taken off your desk and delegated to somebody else, fully delegated, in the last 6 months as you've continued to grow?
So since it's a bootstrap, I used to be everything, right. Sales, finance, and operations, and everything. In fact, I've delegated everything. I have a great executive team. I have the CFO, I have the head of sales, strategic sales, operations. I would say pretty much, I still have some of the roles that I'm kind of more involved in today, like HR, for example. I'm a little bit more involved than I should be. But in the last 6 years, the CFO has been a great help that I'm completely delegated that, and my sales leadership role is completely delegated. I'm trying to get myself out of operations now. I'm still somewhat involved in operations. Yep. And I would say I was more in business about 6 years ago. I would say 78% of my time I used to be like but now I am working on business more and more. So I still have way to go, Jim, but I think I made a lot of progress on that. And I'm more outside with the customers, with the analysts, with the partners than inside. Cool.
No, that's, I was going to say, you're a very expensive project manager. So if we think about your leadership philosophy that you've built over time, sort of how you think about the CEO job, what would be the 1 or 2 things that you would say, this is what characterizes how I run a company or how I view a company should be run? What would be your philosophy? 1 or 2 items, maybe.
So I love Jim Collins, the whole level 5 leadership.
Yeah.
If I have to pick many from that, but what worked really for me in these many years, people, helping people grow, identifying the right people and helping them grow, giving them the opportunity, and also transparency is so important. And you make promises and keep promises, and that builds the trust. And I think the number 1 is people, because in our business, for me, like our strength comes from people 100%. Nothing other than that. So that's really working with people. Be human. I would say the second is just be human. You got to have a rigor in a business, but at the same time, don't be ruthless. It's a life is short. It's not that end of the world. So be forgiving, rigorous, but not ruthless. Bring human being every day to work. Be a human. I think those are a couple of things, but the level 5 leadership, I think, really resonates with me. And I don't like that flashy, heroic kind of leadership. I want to be part of the team, and I want to be at the ground level, connecting with people, talking to people. In fact, I talk to everybody at any level. I don't even see the levels. One thing that I say is that, maybe this is the way that I look at things. I don't see the gender, color, race. I want to kind of treat everybody the same.
Yeah.
Those are things.
That's great. We have someone we work with over the years, and his phrase is, companies don't grow, people do.
Yeah.
So very similar to, invest in the people and then they'll make the company grow, right? Last question, what do you do for fun?
So nowadays I've been playing golf. I have a lot of things, ski and motorcycle and all of that, but I don't get time. Number one, spend some time with the family. I have two beautiful daughters in college and my wife, and we spend a lot of time together. But I never have enough time for playing golf. So that I love playing golf.
Nice. Awesome. Well, Karan, this was phenomenal. I really appreciate your time. This was a great interview, and I wish you very good luck going forward.
Jim, thank you very much for having me, and that's been good. It's I haven't shared any of these with anyone like this for a long time. So, but thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.